Hello and welcome back to, well, a rather wet geared up garage video. In today's video we are on a last ditch attempt, a final play if you will, of getting Slugsy ready for Jimmy's farm. Now, in the last video, albeit very short, we couldn't take the Volvo to Jimmy's farm because of some birds nesting in the air kit. We're going to go have a look and see if they're still in there. I'd imagine they probably are. They were very, very little when I went in there last time. And the gauges, all in the Scania, all stopped working on the way home from Truckfest. So what we're going to try and do is figure out if we can get a temperature gauge going, because the problem is if we take this truck to Jimmy's farm with no battery gauge, no fuel gauge, no temperature gauge, there is a chance, although the truck could be running fine, that it's going to cook itself, basically. We don't know if the temperature gauges are working, we don't know if the thermostat's working, so really we need to make sure that the thing is reading correctly. Here are the gauges at the moment, but there you go. If you tap them, they're all over the shop. I mean, it's reading oil off the charts, batteries in the red, but then tap it, I mean, that moves, it's just, yeah. Battery gauge is completely changed. I don't know why it does that. So that's been in 3 separate positions. Oil is still reading off the charts. Air is actually fine, that's accurate, and temperature gauge, well, temperature gauge isn't reading at all. So my main quest today is to try and see if we can find an obvious break or something in the wire to get these gauges working. And I'm gonna have to rip the dash out, which I'm quite nervous about, to be honest with you, because, well, my mechanical skills have since left me and I didn't have many to start with. So let's crack on and see what we can find and, well, see if we can get any sort of fix out of this. So it looks to me like we've got 1, 2, 3 there, 3 along the top, and hopefully that'll come out. Righto, so that's that loosened, and that comes out. And straight away, that looks dodgy. Let's try and see that in there better. There you go. Straight away, it's not looking good, Braves, is it? I mean, another thing I've found as well is like this random black wire that's just been spliced down here and it goes nowhere. And obviously that down there looks like it's been electrical taped. That does not look like Scania have done that. That has been done by the taco people, actually. Bigwoods have done that. Right, okay, that's fine. So that's what Bigwoods have done. That, I have no idea what that is. That might be the original one for the taco, actually. That might have run into the taco originally. I have no idea what half of this stuff actually. I was looking for a clear and obvious break, but we've got something. We've got a random wire there. I mean, that doesn't even look like it's connected properly. That's just, there you go. That's not even connected properly. So that was wrapped around that in the hopes that. So that was wrapped around that one there in the hopes of that was going to work. What have we lost in doing that, in taking that connection off? What have we just lost? That's right, that's the indicator on. Right, what have we lost? Unless we've not lost anything and that just wasn't working. What does that wire do? Right, so I figured out why this one was disconnected from the other one. So when we plug that and that together, like that, that little light there comes on. See? And that light is the ABS light, which tells me that there might be an ABS fault on this truck that we didn't know about. Another one of these slugsy mysteries that just keep kind of occurring. But we've still, that's not affected the gauges at all. And I can still, like, tap the gauge. I mean, look at that, it just does it like, I mean, that one's now reading all right. That one's obviously going to be cold because we've not fired it up. That, I assume, is reading right, and that I have no idea. Temperature gauge is faulty as well. There you go. This thing's got gremlins in it, mate. Like, boom, 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 boom. I need to figure out what's going on here. So, with the mystery of the wire being solved, my next port of call is going to be to pull these plugs out, give them a clean, and put them back. Because although the wiring, for the most part, obviously over here is just a bit, well, yeah. The rest of it doesn't look too terrible. There's no immediate breaks or anything that I can see. So we're going to pull these out, and hopefully that will give us an answer as to whether or not there's anything wrong with the plug, or whether or not it's like the gauges themselves. Okay, we have a small success. So the tank, after taking it apart, cleaning it, and putting it back together, the air tanks now seem to be reading true. The fuel gauge seems to be about right. That's not moved. The fuel temperature gauge hasn't moved yet. So I'm waiting to see if I'm going to warm the lorry up for a bit now, and hopefully that moves. If that moves, then it's either that's fixed. If it doesn't move, we've either got a faulty temperature sensor, or this cluster isn't great. Even if I give it a tap, like, it's still staying the same. Just trying to get a decent reading out the temperature gauge, because that's the one we're really most interested in. I need to have a look at this because it looks quite discoloured, and I'm wondering if there's anything in here that's causing a problem. So I was tapping that. It won't do it now. But I was tapping that and the gauges were moving. So I think I'm going to pull this little cover off and see if any of the electrical components inside look damaged. They don't from here, but you never know. Touch them, or when I go near them, I can feel the heat coming off them. Especially, like, I mean, bring one like that looks pretty, that's in there pretty solidly, so's that, but like, that's just, that shouldn't be doing that. And I was touching it, oh dear, it was making the gauge go all funny. So yeah, I think that's going to be our first port of call. I'm going to hunt around for another set of gauges, a little eBay special, and see if we can change those over, because it does look like it's got really hot back there. I mean, that doesn't look right, not to me at all. So we'll have a look at that and hopefully see what we can do. I'm not confident about this getting to Jimmy's farm unless I can find a set of gauges on eBay today, have them out and posted to me by like tomorrow, Thursday latest, and then I can try and fit them or swap them over, because I think they swap over, I think it's like 6 screws that does it. So, oh yeah, there you go, all these little screws around the edges, then that should just swap over. We should be able to unbolt that and bolt a new one in. Let's jump on eBay now and have a look and see if we can find a set and how much it's going to come to. So I found this one here on eBay, 170 quid, but the clocks are, they look discoloured, which makes me think this is normal for Scanias of this age. Also, there are like a number of different variations as well. So I've got to make sure I get the right variation for the lorry. Don't want to put a different set of clusters in it, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure. So I need to make a correction. These things in here are not called capacitors, they're called resistors. I had to look it up. It's been a long time since I've done this. So I'm going to read the resistance of it and then see if that makes a difference. And we're looking for power and resistance going through there, I think. It's a new day, and I gave up trying to sort that out with that circuit board. I don't know what I'm doing, as most of you in the comments are probably raging at me, going, you've done it wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. You're all correct. I have no idea what I'm doing. Half the time I'm just winging it. Volvo's out, I'll show you that in a minute. So we're just gonna have to leave it as it is and not take Slugsy to Jimmy's farm, unfortunately. What did you do? Someone squirted the Volvo with snow foam with the window open. Yes, the Volvo is here and it's going to Jimmy's farm. The birds have all vacated the nest, so Dad and me are now gonna quickly clean this off and get it ready. I won't be going to Jimmy's farm until Monday. It's 1, 2, 3 steps to heaven. Well, it has been a while since we've been back in here, Get Up Garage YouTube channel. We have not been in the Volvo in nearly, well, I think it's 6 or 7 months now, so we're just going to pull this forward so Dad can get the Navara out and yeah, we can crack on and get ready for the show. Cool. So while Dad is quickly pressure washing off the Volvo, we will jump out and join him. But I just wanted to say, if you guys are expecting to see me this weekend at Jimmy's farm, or you want to come and specifically find myself, Dad will be there all weekend along with the AFP Transport boys. I will give him some stickers to give out. If you want to come and say hi to him, basically, crack on, go and do that. However, I won't be there until Monday because the Get Up Garage Band are rehearsing all day tomorrow for our show at Foxfest, where I will be there all weekend. So if that's what you guys, if you guys are planning on heading down to Jimmy's farm, then obviously come and say hi to Dad. He's pretty talkative, and the AFP Transport boys would love to have a chat with you as well, especially if you've got questions about legends and things like that and you want to ask them. Those guys are obviously as good as me, if not better than me, to ask as well. They're with it all the time. All right, let's crack on, get this thing cleaned, and we'll see you in the next bit. Oh, she's looking better now.
A friend I used to see up and down the road. He drove a Scania 143, a roaring V8 truck. From time to time we'd sit in a lay-by, say all that we'd seen, talk about the past next to stacks and roll all night again. I said, hey Tang, how you been? Hope you're doing alright. Saw your buddy in a 144 coming down the road last night. Times were tough and we were running for nothing. Containers lost their ass. Well,
So yes, we will see you all at Jimmy's farm this weekend, or at Foxfest next weekend if you're coming down to that. Let us know in the comments below, and yeah, I will see you all on Monday. Take care guys, and we'll see you then. Make sure you subscribe, you like, you leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.